The history of the Russian Revolution. Timeline of significant events, 1905–1917. The timeline of significant events starts with Bloody Sunday in 1905 and ends with the Bolsheviks' control of the country. January 22, 1905, Bloody Sunday, Tsar Nicholas's troops open fire on working-class demonstrators in Petrograd. October 1905, Czar Nicholas II proclaims the Russian parliament Duma by the October Manifesto. August 1, 1914, Tsar Nicholas II mobilized Russian troops on the Eastern Front for war with Germany. March 1917, soldiers revolted, and food riots started in the cities. A new provisional government was created. March 15, 1917, the abdication of Tsar Nicholas II, Russia becomes a republic. November 7, 1917, control over Petrograd is seized by Bolsheviks. November 8, 1917, Bolsheviks take the place of the Russian provincial government. Explanation of significant events. The initial event that finally led to the revolution was Bloody Sunday, the day that received its name from the events happening in January 1905. On that day, tens of thousands of workers marched to the Winter Palace in Petrograd to tell the Tsar how dissatisfied they were with the conditions of work and payment. However, what was hoped to be a peaceful conversation turned out to be a massacre. Not only was the Tsar absent from the palace, but he also gave a command to meet those who came with gunfire. As a result of such treatment, significant tensions started among the working and middle-class people. It is believed that if the Tsar at least had talked to the people, even if not promising anything to them, it would have been possible to avoid the events that unfolded after Bloody Sunday. In nearly 10 years following the Bloody Sunday, the Tsar of Russia tried to keep order and remain at rule. However, due to a series of riots and people's dissatisfaction of the tactics pursued by the government, revolutionaries under the guidance of Lenin managed to seize power. The Russian Revolution factions, Bolsheviks. Bolsheviks constituted the largest radical group in revolutionary Russia that played the most important role in the initiation and the course of the revolution. The leader of the group, Lenin, proclaimed equal rights to all citizens and eventually initiated the formation of the Communist Party. Despite being the major power during the revolution, the Bolsheviks lacked experience and a clear vision. As a result, the governance of the Bolsheviks was based on the idea of denying the precious fruit of the Western political thought, which ended in negative outcomes for the people and the country. The Russian Revolution factions, Mensheviks. Mensheviks, as well as Bolsheviks, were dissatisfied with the Tsar's regime. However, Mensheviks were not as optimistic about the prospects or arranging a revolution as Lenin's supporters. Specifically, Martov and other leaders of Mensheviks noted that the working class needed more political awareness and had to increase in size before pursuing significant goals. Domestic and foreign opposition to revolution. To oppose the Bolsheviks, those rooting for monarchism and capitalism created the White Army. Later, the White Army received military support from several Western states. Meanwhile, the Bolsheviks created the Red Army to beat the protesters. Eventually, anti-Bolshevik forces were defeated because their economic and political goals were not as attractive as those of the Bolsheviks. The evaluation of the seizure of power by Bolsheviks. Whereas the revolution was viewed as an exceptional opportunity to seize power and alter the country's political and economic development, the seizure of power by the Bolsheviks did not bring about the expected results. Lenin was convinced that the Bolsheviks had the best developed program and the most effective leaders. However, the major drawback of their scheme was that they were trying to arrange a socialist revolt in a principally agrarian society. Hence, although the Bolsheviks managed to gain control over the country, they could not hold it for a long time. Conclusion: changes that occurred in society. While revolutionary leaders expected immediate positive changes, the latter did not occur. The ambiguity prevailed in society since people could not understand who was at the rule and what their life would be like after the revolution. The expected support from industrialized countries did not arrive, which led to the intensification of the need to industrialize. Finally, a civil war broke out in Russia as a result of numerous tensions between people.